Hi everyone, it is day 7 of our 1, 2, 3 Draw 30-day challenge. Today we're going to do a project that shouldn't take too long actually, even though it looks complicated, but it has all the elements of all the past days. So it has partly clouds, there are raindrops in it, there are mountains, fire, the moon, and some woods. So get a fresh piece of paper and let's get started. Now, today when we're working, the first thing that we're going to do is the volcano. Essentially, a volcano is a mountain that blew off its top and has a crater at the very opening. So that's where we're going to start. And then from there, we're going to work on the background. So the first thing that I'm going to do is right here in the middle of the paper, place a oval crater. So this is the middle of the paper, so I'm right about over here. Then I'm going to slide down the sides and come to about this part of the paper. So I'm leaving myself about that much room. Now, it doesn't look quite like a volcano yet, but we're going to add a lot of details to it. So from here, I'm going to make this edge kind of rocky looking. And I can make some lava dripping down it. And then I'm going to make some lava dripping right down that side too, even into the water. All right, now once I get to the water, I'm going to ripple around halfway because we're going to, on this side, make a wavy line and then maybe one drip that even hits the water here. Remember how we did the drips of water? But when this one hits the water, it's going to create bubbling and, of course, a ripple. Now, at the top, since this is a crater, we're going to make this part of the crater really dark, just like we did on the craters of the moon. And then we're going to shoot the flames out of it. So the flames are just going to be like letter V's that come up in the air. And I'm not going to worry too much about the details on the flames like we did when we were doing the flames up close. In fact, I'm going to just kind of mess this up a little bit, make some lines shooting out. I could even make like a puff of smoke up here. So it's kind of unclear. Paper towel might be better for blending. It really depends on your paper, how well your blending smears. So I smeared out a lot of the details, so I'm going to add that back in with some pencil lines. Right, I'm getting a new pencil because that one, the point was dying on me. All right, there we go. Now the volcano is set in place, so now we're going to go to the background. I like to do this first. I usually do a horizon line first, but I didn't want my horizon line to go through the volcano. I want the horizon line to disappear behind it and then come back out again. And now I've got a horizon line. In the background, we're going to add some mountains, and we spent a lot of time on mountains before. We won't spend a lot of time today. So for these mountains, I'm going to shake up, make some peaks and valleys, make sure my lines are shaky and rocky looking, and I'll make this one look like it comes in front of that one. I'm going to put a shadow on this side of my mountain, and I'll put a shadow on that side of my mountain as well. Take my blender, smudge that, and now I'm going to make the mountain have like some slopes and rockiness. And I feel like I neglected to finish off the volcano. So let me go back over here for a second. I'm going to leave the lava be nice and white, but I will make this have some slopes that come down. And I'm going to darken this side a whole lot because it is a 3D object. This is going to be my lava, so that part's going to stay white. And I'm just going to color this whole thing nice and gray and not real neat. And I'm going to go back and add slopes and cracks just to make the volcano not seem so white like the paper. Then I'll go back with my blender and smudge that. There we go. And let's go to clouds. So the clouds we're going to do exactly the way we did them before, where the largest clouds will hit the top of the paper and be very irregular in shape. And then the next one will get a little bit smaller as it goes down. And somewhere in here, I want to include the moon. So I think I'll do the moon right here as a circle that goes behind this cloud. And I'll give one shadow to half of the moon and kind of mess up the surface a little bit. We don't want it to be flat. Then we're going to give some shadows up here to the clouds. And I'm going to use a blender on this because these are such thin shadows. So if you have a blender, I suggest that you use it. And I'll run it on this one too. Okay, so we've got our entire background of the picture done today. So now we're going to go over to here and get the water done. So you're going to press pretty hard with your pencil at this point because we want the horizon line to have the darkest water. And then as you come closer to the front of the volcano, we're going to lighten up with the pencil until we kind of fade to white. Now we'll get our blender back out again and smear that in so it's softer looking. All right, I forgot this part of the ocean, so I'm going to have to go back over there. Now, the last thing that we're going to do is make a foreground of our picture so that the things are up front. So you could pretend it's a beach, or if it's a lake, it's a water line. And I'm just going to sharpen that edge. And I'm going to create some tall grass on this side by putting my pencil on its side like this. And then over here, I'm going to put a log, so like a birch tree. So I'm going to start with a curved line, and I'm going to bring this log over here. It's almost hitting the bottom of the paper, and this might be where I actually see the chopped off part of the log. So I'm going to make some circular lines in there. And then like a birch tree, it's going to have this side, this side, and maybe a whole shadow on the side that hits the ground. Now this is going to be in the fire, so it's going to be really messed up looking when we get done. So the birch tree doesn't have to look real pretty. I'm going to put rocks around the fire to keep the fire contained. So just like bad oval shapes, this one has to run off to the edge of the paper because it doesn't fit. We don't want to squeeze it on. We're going to let it run off. And I'm not going to draw rocks behind it because now I'm going to put the flames on. And I'm not going to make too many flames. We'll think about that this fire was newly set and the whole piece of wood is not engulfed yet. I'll color the tops of the flames to give them some standout quality. And I did draw the log right through, but the flames are kind of see-through, so I'm not going to erase that real perfectly. Now I'm going to give my rocks a little shadow, make them look a little bit more 3D. So on the bottom of every rock, there's no bottom there. I'm just going to give some extra darkness and blend that with my blender. And our last thing that we're going to do is a bucket of water to put this fire out when we're done. So I'm going to take an oval and put it right here, one oval, put 2 lines down for the edge of the bucket. A bucket is a crater, it's an opening, so I'm going to shadow in just that part on this side. Then I'm going to make the bucket come in a little bit and go down, in a little bit, down. Curved line, shadow on this side. Get my blender out for that so it looks smooth and not scribbly. And I'm going to make a big drip coming down this bucket of water. And I'll put some ripples there so it looks like that bucket's full. And we are done for the day. I know this one was a bit of a long drawing, and the next ones coming up for the rest of the week are going to be pretty fast. So good luck, take your time, and happy day 7.